All right, so here we are, Rockford, Michigan, second catch of the season. First time at this location. Been here for, I think, 5 years, 5 seasons, never caught, but never gave up either. Always had scouting, so I knew something could happen. There used to be beekeepers in the area. There isn't anymore that I know of. So I figured in somewhere there's got to be some feral colonies. So anyways, happy to have caught. It looks like everybody's inside. I will double check before we move. Ratchet strap that lid on so you don't have any problems. Move it to the bee yard and I'll show you the rest. So we'll get started and catch up with you in a bit. So here we are at the bee yard. Got it ratchet strapped to the future permanent home. I'll go over that later, but anyways. So we're here, no issues. They weren't tremendously loud, although I could hear them through the vents. A little surprising no one's come out yet. You would think they would have been piled up at that entrance. But these are 40 liters. They're very large traps, so even large swarms, 30,000 bees aren't going to come past here if they're all on the top. So I do have a feed port in mine, so I can pop that and see if they're on the top of the frames. All of that of the lifting of the lid and popping the top has the potential to kill bees when you put it back on if you're not smoking them back in. So I'll probably grab a hive tool and open that top. I think we saw one come out. They're not going to fly very far at night, and actually they're probably going to fly over to a floodlight or something if they do come out. Let me grab a hive tool. I think there's some coming out now from the entrance. So you can see them on the frames. They are definitely in there. Okay, here we are Monday afternoon. This trap caught Saturday, I believe. I moved it up here Sunday evening and put it on top of their new permanent home. Entrance facing the same way. Opened the door. I did take a peek inside, but you just open the door and leave it. I like to see a good amount of foraging activity, so meaning I don't want to come and do it first thing in the morning, because first thing in the morning they're going to be doing their new orientation flights out in front, getting used to the new area. This was, I don't know, 7 miles, 8 miles away. So likely they've done foraging flights already and multiple foraging flights. They may be a little slower because it's a new area compared to these other colonies, but that's my thought. And then I come here, it's 4:30, I guess, to do the transfer. I do it this way because I've done it other ways, and I've probably done it what in my opinion is the hardest way, and that's transfer them in the evening. You wouldn't do hive inspections during the evening. I heard it somewhere when I first started out. I tried it. I didn't have a red lens, a red filter on my flashlight, and it was horrible, and I'll never do it again. This is so much easier. Another benefit of doing it this way is if you get here early enough before they're returning home for the evening, there's less bees home. So again, their new permanent home is all set up, minus donor frames. It's just an empty right now. I'm not going to look for the queen. Depending on the size, that might be hard to do anyways. They're calm. So under the lid, these two dark spots are propolis that I melted in this off season to give it more scenting. Torched them in. Give you an idea what it looks like before the install. So you're looking down and you're counting your frames of bees, and it's 3. But you got to also remember that 4 of the frames, the new ones with 23, are starter strips. So they can ball in there a lot. So we'll start with the easy side, which is probably blank. No, it's not blank. They're working it. They're working it. They can keep it. I'm going to have to give them some starter strip frames anyways. So this, well, I got to remember there's a lot of them not home, right? They're out foraging. That's their 4th frame. They've already started it. I'm just going to place everything in the same order they have it. Wow. That's number 3. I'm going to hold it over their new home because I'm not looking for the queen. I don't want to lose the queen, but this is frame 3 from the front, starter strip. It's already drawn out really well. And what I've noticed is the queen will lay in that freshly drawn comb so quickly. She doesn't start laying as far as what I've seen right away though. She had to thin down to fly. Now she's got to fatten up again to lay. I'm sorry, I don't know a politer way to say it. Okay, now we're really getting into bees holding on to each other, making bridges. We need to be careful. That underneath them, they're not hanging from each other, so everywhere you see that's drawn comb, that is, let's say 48 hours. That right there is why my swarm traps are level in the trees. Level this way. From back to front, from back to front. They've drawn that much comb. That would have been that much wasted opportunity if this was canted and they drew straight based on gravity and missed my frame. Even those smaller ones, I don't want them started wrong. So I put a level on it. Again, I haven't smoked them. Okay. And likely the queen is on here, so I'm going to be careful. This is very heavy. And like I've said in other videos recently, because I think in videos before that I might have said, or I know for a fact I said in life, that bait comb frame, the one I just removed, is there so that she can immediately start laying when she arrives. Haven't witnessed it myself.
That bait comb frame is there so they can immediately offload their nectar that they've been carrying for days, which they don't do. They don't carry nectar for days. They go and forage, they bring it back, they offload, they go out again. They only carry nectar for days when they swarm, which I would imagine would be uncomfortable. I don't know. And they needed to offload it. So that is what my experience shows of my catches and what I've witnessed is where they put all that nectar they're carrying. Not so the queen can immediately start laying. So they did better without smoke. But since I've already started smoking. So that inside wall next to the bait comb's a popular spot. And I actually saw some bees on this side. There's a lot of baby bees. So baby bees have fuzzy backs. A lot of baby bees with this one. I haven't seen a drone yet. And I've seen where some of them look like they're still holding nectar. I got other stuff to do here, so I'm just gonna leave that rest in there with a way for them to climb up. If the queen's in here, they'll start fanning, showing that she's in here, and then the march will be on. These are just some dead out frames. All right, so I got to give them 2 starter strip frames. These are last year's. So, like I've said in a previous video, I like to give them a fresh coating of wax. Also, these are the starter strip frames. They're not the greatest. Listen, they can be, you can saw some of those other combs, they fall apart with dead outs. Once they've been established for a couple seasons, they're great, but trying to get them good in the beginning is some work, but I like them, I enjoy them, I prefer them, I've done videos on that. So give them a fresh coat of wax, drop them in quietly. Push these frames together. Just like with the traps, I will level it, but instead of front to back, because of the frame configuration, it'll be left to right leveled so that they draw straight. They're getting some feed, they're calm. So there's still more bees in the trap than I'd like to see, and the trap is going back up today. I was back at the catch site and I did actually pretty well, I guess, because it doesn't seem like I left any orphans behind, or if I did, leaving the trap away from the catch site all night and majority of today, sent the message that home is gone, and if there were orphans, they found a new home. So anyways, I don't like how many bees are still in here, but it's hard to bang it on just one deep. So not a ton. And they're gonna need something for their feeder anyways, as far as the shield to protect it from the elements and critters and other bees. So I'll just use that as an oversized funnel. First one sounded good. Another thing I like to do is close the door, because they'll still use that and be confused. They're fanning up here. So you can see the bees fanning on the sides. Hope you can see it right. These two. Those bees are fanning after the install here. That's showing me that it's going well. The queen is inside there. Problem is they're calling them in through the roof, and that roof's going to be gone, so I don't want to let that go on too long. What I want is it for it to be at the entrance. We're not seeing it yet. Now we bang them off our funnel. Slowly give them their lid. Start off. So just lightly move it over. These have a hole. Inner cover has a hole. That's their entrance. I also put a sock, because these tend to drown, so they have a way to escape. The cup makes it so they can't get in the reservoir with the syrup, and the lid keeps it from being exposed. Pretty simple. Cheap. Amazon. Downfall, they can drown. And they don't hold much. Anyways, this is 1-to-1. I have free samples, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I do sell it. I don't want to spill it. The last catch isn't really taking their syrup down that quick. I expect this one to be faster. This one seems to be bigger. I don't know, for the start of the season, or at least the start of the season for me, these are small swarms. Makes me wonder if there's a bunch of foragers out there. Alright, so that's it for that one. We want to see fanning at the door. We want those bees to go in. Much better now. They're fanning. Here's your update of the first catch of the year, Memorial Day. Not much going on. Am I going in? Nope. Not going to bother them. They seem to be acting calm. They're not taking much of the syrup. That's fine. I'm not going to fuss over them for, I don't know. I'll probably peek in there about a week and a half. So 2.5 weeks from catch, 3 weeks, I'll probably take a peek. Until then, I don't bother. I will give them some more syrup. So anyways, thanks for watching. That's catch number 2. And I appreciate y'all.